Thank you to all the previous presenters. I always love coming and learning something. I'm Diane Villa from the Department of Psychology. I teach the COLA 100 LA, Psychology of Success. And I'm going to talk a little bit about introductory exercise that I give to my first year experienced students. It's an icebreaker. I had noticed something from the semester before, and I wanted to do something about it. So for a teaching policy for all of my end of the year finals, I put something on my final exam. You know, what would you like to see at this course? What would you like to do? What would you like to have done? What would make it better? You know, it's like the extra credit, 3 free points if you make an honest attempt. So one of the things, it was a recurring theme that I've been seeing with my students, and I could see it also in my students, that they want to get to know each other better. And I have an assignment at the end of the semester, it's called a success plan, where they talk about themselves and their goals and their cultures, but it's at the end of the semester. So I'm thinking, well, we need to do something at the beginning of the semester, and you can see, I'm sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. You can see from some of their responses, I'm in the way, you can see from some of the responses that it's a recurring theme. They want to know about their fellow students, so they're saying a survey to find about similarities and differences. I think having some sort of assignment in which they talk about themselves, an assignment to write more in depth about ourselves. So these are just a few of the responses where they said, we want to get to know each other. We want to know about our fellow students. So they're coming into college, it's their first year, they're feeling awkward, and they want a reason to get to know and talk about each other. They want a little help. And you can see it in each other. So I snooped around a little bit and I thought, how am I going to do this? I need a way to break the ice. Well, if you Google Icebreaker, there's quite a few ways to do that. So that's exactly what I did. So I wanted to make it a little fun, but I want to make it relevant to our students and get a little work in. So what I did was adapt Icebreaker to both introducing themselves and our college concerns. So coming into college is a very big transition. I'm a psychologist. I know that transitions, welcome or not, are very stressful. So what are we going to do about letting them talk a little bit about this big step that they've just taken? So introduce yourselves, talk a little bit about being at UNLV, and we're going to see how that goes. So first step is, and I have a few of these forms, and they don't know that this is coming, they don't know that the icebreaker is coming. I hand this form out, and I put this form together. So 3 things about yourself. So that was the first concern that I saw in my finals. They want to talk about themselves. So write down on this form 3 things about yourself. Any things. It can be music, it can be sports, 3 things you want to talk about yourself. And then I want to talk about this transition into college. So why am I in school? What do I hope to accomplish this semester? How am I going to accomplish these goals? What am I going to do with my education? And how would I feel if I dropped out of school? And that addresses not only the first year experience type of concerns, but this mindset. I find myself very concerned about the first year college student mindset, where we have to turn them around from, you're not in high school anymore, nobody's forcing you, nobody's going to tackle you if you walk off a campus and call you truant, and why are you really here? And I work very, very hard on this mindset. What does your degree really mean? It's not just a piece of paper, it's something that opens doors. And you need to think about what your education means. So that's why I put this together. 1, you get to know each other, and 2, you can think about why you're here. and that we're here to help you. We're not your high school teachers anymore. We're here to get you to your goals. And let's start that conversation today. We're not the enemy. We're here to get you where you want to go. So let's think about that and let's talk about it right now. Believe it or not. So in the icebreaker, after they fill this out, they keep this in front of them. We take, okay, get out another piece of paper. I'm very heavy into all these type of exercises. We take a piece of paper, we tear it in half, they put their name and their hometown, and then they crumple it up and they throw it in the middle. And we have 2 or 3 students stand in the middle, and I just look around the room. I said, who wants to be a leader today? And they all kind of look at each other and say, that's right, you're here to be a leader. Let's start thinking about it today. It's why you're here in college. You didn't come to college not to be a leader. Get up and stand in the middle of the room, and somebody will do it. In a small room, you need at least 2. With 24 students, you could probably have 3 students. And they randomly pick up a crumpled ball or a snowball. Oh, already? Okay. Already. That was a quick 6 minutes. And they read off their names. And then that student gets to tell any 3 pieces of information about themselves. And they get to know each other. That tells us about, gives us student engagement, meets goals for initiating student interactions, and we talk about mindset. And it was in this, it's a fun, engaging activity when the students get to know each other. Any questions? Yes?
Could you explain the crumpled up paper ball in the standing room a little bit more?
That's the icebreaker for snowballing. Their name and their hometown is, you throw it in the middle, and randomly pick it up, and that's the name on that piece of paper. That's when the person introduces themselves and tells the class a little bit about themselves. That's the icebreaker.
So they then share those.
Then they share whatever 3 pieces of information on this sheet that they want to. So everybody's in a circle. They have written their name and hometown on it. They throw it in the middle. It's all random. They pick it up. Whoever's name is on that piece of paper, they say, okay, they introduce themselves. That's me. I'm from, and they tell their class a little bit about themselves.
Do you find you're able to get through the entire 24 students?
I only had 17 in my class, but yes, we got it all done.
Is that pretty chaotic?
It was fun. It was the first semester that I instituted it, but I'm going to do it again. I found 3 people were from Boulder City. They all got to know each other. A couple people from Hawaii, that wanted to know. They found some people something in common, which met the goals from requests from student requests. So that, the students are telling me that they feel isolated. We know that's a risk factor for people dropping out of school. So I really wanted to address that. It worked for me. I don't know if it'll work again. I have small classes, but.
Since I'm the timekeeper, I get to ask questions.
Okay.
So do you find that after you've done this activity, do you think it's easier to get students to work in groups after that? Do they not have that, I'm not going to do group work kind of?
I do a lot of group work regardless, so I didn't notice if it was easier or, I'd like to say yes, but I did have a lot of engagement in my class this semester. They did seem to be very open. And I have a lot of bold activities. I'm a psychologist, so I'm not very afraid of it, but we will talk about this.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.